Hello there. Welcome to Are We Still on the Same Page? Your Radio for Brainport podcast, diving into language and connection in Eindhoven's buzzing Brainport region. We're exploring how Dutch and English mix and sometimes clash. From funny stories to deep thoughts, we're asking, are we all still speaking the same language? Join us for chats that bridge cultures, right here where locals and international meet. Tune in at Radio for Brainport.
Hello listeners and welcome back to Are We Still on the Same Page? Your Radio for Brainport podcast exploring language and connection in the vibrant Brainport region of Eindhoven. I'm Bart Bruyne, your dedicated and designated linguist of Radio for Brainport, and I'm joined here with my co-host
Susan. Hi. I love bringing people together. Today we are in the beautiful Next Nature Museum in the Evoluon, and we are diving into how we sound to each other, the accents, the dialects, and how we make friends here.
Exactly. In our first episode, Susan shared her story about the mix of Dutch and English in Brainport, and now we're focusing a bit more on the challenges of learning Dutch and the role of dialects in Brabant, like Brabant, and how language helps or hurts connection. We've got a special treat today, a guest who knows all about building relationships.
Yes, it's really exciting. We'll also hear my story in Dutch, like last time. It's about how people feel here, what they miss, and what makes this place so special.
Okay, but before we hear Susan's story, let's talk about a challenge many expats in Brainport face: learning Dutch. As a linguist, I can tell you Dutch is a fascinating language, but it's not easy to master. And let's explore why. First, Dutch grammar is complex. Take word order. In a main clause, like ik eet appels, I eat apples, the verb is second. But in a subordinate clause, like omdat ik appels eet, because I eat apples, the verb goes to the end. And this shift confuses learners, especially those who are used to English's fixed structure. Articles are another hurdle. Dutch has de and het for the, but there's no simple rule. It's de tafel for the table and het huis for the house. And you kind of have to memorize them or grow up with them. Pronunciation is tough too. Dutch has unique sounds like the g or the g. Dus velar fricatives. English speakers often struggle with this, and it's rare in their language. Or take the ui in huis or u in boek. Those are tricky diphthongs, requiring specific and precise articulation, and you don't have those in English as well. The small mistakes can change meaning, or you can make you hard to understand, and vocabulary adds more challenge. Finally, the social context in Brainport makes it harder. Locals often switch to English when they hear a foreign accent, as we'll hear from our guest. And this kindness, sort of kindness from the locals, limits, of course, practice. The practice you need. And research of the Taalunie shows that immersion is crucial for language acquisition. You have to immerse yourself in the language and hear it constantly. But English, it dominates the workplace and social places here. And this creates a cycle. Learners avoid speaking due to make mistakes. And locals, they use English. And this slows the progress. Yet learning Dutch is worth it, and it's key to local culture and connection. Susan, have you seen expats or internationals struggle with Dutch?
Yes, sometimes they struggle with Dutch. Their wish is to improve their Dutch skills. but sometimes it's hard for them. They try, but then everyone speaks English.
Yes, well, again, practice is key, of course.
Practice is key.
And well, it's now time for Susan's story. And like in our first episode, we'll share it in Dutch in two parts. And our listeners, mostly English speakers for Brainport, might be surprised to hear Dutch on the radio for Brainport, but we think it's fun and it fits our message. Because here in Brainport, English is everywhere, but Dutch deserves its moments too. And Susan's story is about how people connect and what they feel and how language plays a role. We'll explain each part in English and discuss it so everyone can follow. This mix of languages is special, and some experts even told Susan it's easier to listen and learn this way. So, Susan, are you ready to share your thoughts with us?
Yes, ready to go.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Nou, zoals jullie weten, ik ben dus Suzanne. Ik wil jullie van harte welkom heten bij de podcast Are We Still on the Same Page? Tweede aflevering. En met Bart praat ik dus over hoe mensen contact maken. Hoe voelen ze zich hier in Brainport? Wat missen ze? Wat verwachten ze? En kan Brainport iets beters doen? Wat vind je hier goed? En wat verdient 10 punten? Nou, we mixen Engels en Nederlands, want dat vinden mensen die Nederlands aan het leren zijn juist heel fijn. Ze fluisterden mij dat een keer toe, dat het ook minder vermoeiend is om te luisteren en te leren. Dus 10 punten dus. Nou, ik ben ook heel benieuwd hoe nieuwkomers zoals expats het contact ervaren. Brainport die groeit ook ontzettend snel en dat brengt ook vragen. Hoe organiseren we dat? We hebben talent nodig, ook van buiten Nederland. Maar we moeten ook onze jongeren helpen. Zij zijn namelijk onze toekomst. En daarom vind ik het ook leuk om daarom ook wat uren in het onderwijs te werken en bezig te zijn met de jongeren en om hun talent te ontdekken.
Yes. Well, thanks, Susan. Well, you've welcomed everyone to our second episode and said we are talking about how people connect in Brainport, their feelings and what they miss and their expectations. If you asked if Brainport can improve and what's special here, and you love mixing English and Dutch because it helps people learn Dutch, and they say it's less tiring, and you're curious about how expats experience connection. Brainport is growing fast, which is tricky to manage, and we need talent from abroad, but also our youth. You mentioned that our youth is the future. The children are our future, and they have to be get a special attention. That's why you work in the schools also.
Yeah, that's the reason that I work in the schools. I have the connection with our youth. What do you think they want to be for the future? And I like to share my knowledge, my enthusiasm.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, right. It makes everyone feel included. So
that's a great start, and language mix is of course very, very Brainport. It shows our diversity here.
Yeah.
What do you think Brainport does well for newcomers?
Yeah, what they do very well are the jobs and all the cultures mixing. It's special.
Yes, okay, there's this growth brings us challenges, but what could be better?
What can we do better? Maybe more help for the expats to feel at home and feel safe. That's one thing.
That's a good point, and let's explore that with our guest next, and because we have Wendy from the Liefdesdokter, and you'll be interviewing her.